Hello! So this past October, I did a daily art challenge for the entire month. And I did it with art block. Maybe a mistake, but I sure tried my hardest. You've probably heard of Inktober. Well, the prompt list this year was something for sure. Instead of doing that, I decided I would do OC-tober, because that's what I did with Inktober anyways in the past, is I would just draw my OCs and fit the prompts. But I couldn't really find a prompt list I liked, so I ended up making my own, and that's what I did for 31 days. So let's just jump right into this. Day 1 was first OC, and my first OC is a character named June, and I made her when I was 14 years old. All my friends had OCs and I didn't have OCs and I felt left out. So I made an OC, and at the time, one of my favorite shows ever, and still is, was BBC's Merlin. So I wanted to make like a medieval magic character, so I made this witch, and I did the same sort of thing where magic is outlawed in that world. So she's like an illegal witch, I guess. And like I said, I entered this with art block. So I went with something a little bit simple at first. I didn't do anything too big with the background or anything. Just a simple drawing of her. I've not drawn this character in so long, and the design is a little bit odd. It doesn't look medieval. It doesn't look witchy. I really truly don't know. A first OC is a first OC, you know what I'm saying? But it was fun to revisit her. I honestly don't think I'd ever go back to this story, but she's quite nostalgic, so I quite like her sticking around, if only in my head, you know? And that's that. That's the first prompt. Second prompt was newest OC, and my newest OC is my D&D character Comet, which I do have a whole video dedicated to. If you're interested in my design process of this character, you can watch that. So I went a little bit more dramatic with this one. I wanted to play with lighting and stuff. Honestly, this was my second attempt at this drawing because, like I said, art block. So I hated my first attempt. And like a couple days later, because I was drawing these a little bit ahead of time, I was like, I don't want to post this one. So I drew this later when I was a little more warmed up and used to drawing every day. I did struggle with the face, but it turned out fine. I had a lot of fun with the lighting and the drama. Comet is a pirate from this crew called the Blue Moon Pirates. So I wanted to draw like a night scene looking up at the moon, perhaps. Is the moon in view? No. Just trust me, the moon is in the sky. And maybe he's looking at it. I love drawing this character. I have been drawing this character a lot lately, and I'm sure I will continue to be drawing this character a lot in the future. So if you ever want more Comet content, there will be plenty, since the campaign is actively going on, you know? Also, as a side note, in the corner of every drawing, something to indicate what like universe each of these characters are from, so you can connect them all, you know? June and Comet are characters that are the only ones of their universe that I drew in this challenge. But if you see repeating logos in the corner, it's to indicate that the characters are from the same series. But anyways, that's Comet. Day 2, newest OC. Yes. Day 3 is modern AU. We've got Theo and Kai. Theo is the blonde guy and Kai is the redhead. And I decided to do a little doodle of them. Theo trying to take a selfie with Kai. These characters don't really meet until a bit later into the series. Theo's like a Act 2 character, and when they meet, Kai is very reluctant to be his friend. So I wanted to show that in like a modern setting. I don't really know what the reasoning Kai would have, because in the actual story, Theo is a demon, and Kai is not a fan of demons. So in modern, I guess he just doesn't like them. Because in the actual story, I imagine Kai kind of struggles to dislike him. But also, Kai is much more introverted than Theo, so maybe that's why. I had fun trying to come up with little outfits for them too. I like Theo's. Kai's is a little not good, but also I think that's fitting. I don't think a modern Kai would have good fashion sense. But yeah, one thing I do regret, I wish I gave Theo painted nails. I think he'd be the type, and I just didn't think to. So just imagine that hit. Actually, don't imagine, because then you have to look at the hand I drew, and I don't want you to do that. But yeah, that's Modern AU. Next, day 4, outfit swap. So we've got Bird and Martina. Martina's the girly, and Bird is the boyo. That was a description for sure. I really wanted to pick these characters because Bird in specific, I imagine to be not good at fashion. I most of the time draw him in this galaxy print shirt, and I draw it way nicer than I imagine it looking. I'm sort of picturing the 2014 galaxy shirts, if you know what I'm saying. I also imagine he wears graphic tees with like wolves howling at moons and stuff like that. Whereas Martina, I think she quite likes fashion. She wears her cute little crop tops. She's got like big hoop earrings. She's definitely not the aesthetic that I would wear, but I imagine she cares about what clothes she puts on, you know, and how she presents herself. I also often draw Bird in this rain poncho, so I wanted to draw Martina in that, and I wanted to draw her looking very unimpressed with having to wear this outfit. And I don't know if Bird in this drawing is embarrassed about wearing her outfit, or if he's just like kind of embarrassed that she's judging him for his outfit, you know? But it was fun. It was fun to do. A fun little doodle. I haven't drawn these characters in a long while too, especially Martina. I've drawn Bird quite a bit. He's the protagonist of the story, and Martina's sort of in and out of the story, but which is odd because she's like not even the secondary main character, but I draw her way more than I do the actual secondary main. In fact, I didn't even draw the secondary main at all this whole challenge, but I did draw her a few times. That's day 4. Day 5, hair up. I honestly didn't know what I was gonna do for this one. This is Ami, and she's from a Supernatural story. Yeah, I originally imagined I would pick a character with like really long hair, but I didn't. She's got like mid-length hair. I don't know, I just really wanted to draw her, so I did. I kind of like imagined while drawing this that she's like going to gym class or something. She's like 14, so I don't know. It just reminded me of when I was 14 and I would put my hair up for like, do you guys ever have to do like walks around the neighborhood with your school? That's what I was imagining for some reason. So that's not even gym class. It's just like, we did like Terry Fox run. So that's what I imagined. And this story is set in Canada anyway. Maybe that's what she's doing. I don't know. But it was interesting to draw like I've never drawn someone actively tying their hair up. So it was an interesting pose to attempt. Good practice, I suppose, for odd poses. But yeah, there she is. I haven't drawn her in so long either. It was really fun. Day 6, neglected OC, and I picked this girl that I still don't have a name for. If you were watching the YouTube shorts as I was doing these, I was posting them daily, and I mentioned that I didn't have a name for this character, and a few of you left really, really good name suggestions, but I'm blanking on all of them right now. I guess none of them stuck, unfortunately. I quite liked the names though, but I don't know. I just remember the night I drew this, or the night before I drew this, I had an idea for the name, and I was like, oh, that's the perfect name, and then I fell asleep before I could write it down. So I don't remember what my brilliant 2 a.m. name idea was. It's quite tragic, but she's a doctor, so I wanted to draw her standing in like a medical tent. She's from my fantasy story, so there's like an active war going on in the background of the whole story that she is a doctor, an on-field doctor at. So she's standing there, she's got some blood on her apron, maybe taking care of a patient, or she just finished up. She's not wearing gloves, so I'm assuming she's not currently taking care of a patient. Yeah, she was really fun to draw. I had more fun than I thought. I quite liked the way her face turned out. Hands were a struggle that day, but it felt like I was actually finally coming out of that art block. It's like Ami turned out well. I liked the way she looked. This one turned out well. So I was feeling confident. I was building back up. Art block was ending. So I thought, until day 7. And day 7, the prompt was happy memory. And I actually really hate the way this drawing turned out. And it's my second attempt. I wanted to draw Romeo from my story, Chosen Ones Academy, which is a story about like a bunch of different chosen ones from all different universes, and they go to this school, and one of them is the chosen one of a fantasy universe, which is Romeo, and he's got a best friend named Florian, who's the prince, and in this world, chosen ones, at least in Romeo's world, I should specify, the chosen one is like more important than royalty. So Romeo is well taken care of. He lives in the palace with Florian, and he's more revered than Florian is. But they're besties. They grew up together, and I think they found a lot of escapism in each other. So I wanted to draw them like getting away from it all, running off away from the palace. However, art block really came back. I was like so confident, and then it all came crashing down. So we're not gonna look at this anymore, and it's done, and that's that drawing. And we're gonna move on. Day 8, which is formal wear. We're back with Bird and Martina. I don't know. I've imagined a formal scenario for these characters multiple times. I just don't know why they would ever do it. Because it's a time travel story, and they are both from different time travel companies, organizations. So they don't work together. So it wouldn't be a work thing. I drew them in modern formal clothes, so it's not like they time traveled and had to go to a formal event. I truly don't know what this is, but it was fun to draw. I don't really love the way Martina came out. I had fun with the dress part, but her face is a little bit, I don't know, it just looks off. Like, it doesn't look like her. But I like how Bird came out. And I mentioned in the shorts, because the drawing went by so fast, I was afraid people would be confused and think it was an accident. But him looking in 2 different directions is on purpose. He has a prosthetic eye. His entire eye is missing. It's just a glass eye. And he can't control or like move a glass eye. So he's looking down at her, and the glass eye just sits in his eye socket, you know? I know prosthetics do move a little bit, especially if you have a bit more of your eye remaining, but his specific injury left him with not a whole lot to work with. So that's how that works. I don't know why I always struggle with Bird's hair these days. I imagine he has dyed white hair, so I always try to include the dark roots, but I don't even know. I need to get better at that. I feel like I did it better in the past. But yeah, that's that one. Day 9, Idol Band Ague. So we've got Saber, Chosen Ones Academy, and he is the chosen one of the zombie apocalypse universe. And before the apocalypse, I imagined that he was an aspiring singer or idol, and he had to abandon all his hopes and dreams right before making it big. I imagined he was like on the precipice, you know, but then the apocalypse happened and he had to drop everything and deal with that. So this is kind of an AU. It's his dream coming true, you know, an alternate universe where the zombie apocalypse doesn't happen and he actually makes it. I also kind of imagine, I don't know if this is gonna be canon, but I can't decide if Saber should be his real name or like a stage name that he'd stuck with. Because I think it would be a cool like artist name, as well as like it fits like an apocalyptic character name. You know what I mean? I just think that's kind of ironic and funny. And then maybe he's just got like a really average normal name like John. I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny that if his artist name was Saber and then the apocalypse happened, he's like, nah, I'm still Saber. But yeah, I watch a lot of idol anime. I love idol anime a lot. So this was very inspired by that. Day 10, hero turned villain, and we've got Theo back at it. I love Theo. I think he's so much fun to draw, and I had a lot of fun drawing this one. I honestly have thought about giving him this villain arc, but I haven't decided yet if that should be canon or not. But he honestly deserves a villain arc. My man's been through it, you know? It's fun to draw sort of like a evil expression. I don't draw villains often. There's not a lot of villain characters I really gravitate to. I've always been more of a fan of heroes. So it's really is fun to draw. I think I like villains that are sympathetic, which I think Theo would be, if that makes sense. I also I had a few comments of people saying they really liked the pastel colors on a villain, and I agree. I actually do think that's really fun. I wasn't really thinking about that when I drew it because I was just drawing him in his normal outfit, and he already just wears pastels. But I do like that juxtaposition of like a fluffy looking character who still somehow manages to look a little bit menacing. At least I think I captured. And the lighting was so much fun to do on this one. Yeah, overall I really enjoy drawing this specific drawing. I don't know. It's one of my favorites of the month, so. There's my lad, Theo. Day 11, which was Alice in Wonderland. And I picked all of the chosen ones for this. The main character of Chosen Ones Academy is Emmy, and she's not a chosen one, but she works at the school and she wants to be a chosen one. So she has taken the identity of a potential chosen one who was supposed to be recruited to the school, and she's just taking her place because they have the same name. So she's not the Emmy they all think she is. So I thought she would fit the bill for Alice in Wonderland, like someone in a world that they're not supposed to be a part of. And then I drew all the actual chosen ones around her. We've got Anya as the White Rabbit, Saber as Cheshire Cat, Romeo as Queen of Hearts, Tal as the Caterpillar, and Cleo as the Mad Hatter, which I think they all happen to fit and like coincide with their characters pretty well. I think Anya's a bit of a anxious person, which kind of fits the White Rabbit. Saber, honestly, it's the colors. He's purple. I also think Saber's a bit of the comic relief type of character, so maybe that is where that fits in. Romeo with the Queen of Hearts, I think he has a commanding presence. And like I said, he was been treated like royalty his entire life. He has a bit of an ego, so I think the Queen of Hearts fits. Tal as the Caterpillar. I honestly don't remember what the Caterpillar does, other than, if I recall, the Caterpillar gives advice, which I think Tal would be an advice friend, you know? But they're blue, so that, you know, sometimes you just gotta fit the color schemes. And then Cleo, Mad Hatter, she's just a little bit wacky. She's a little bit out there, so the Mad Hatter worked really well. This is the drawing I spent the most time on, and it's also one of my favorites of the month. Day 12, different gender. I drew Niall, his bird. I can't not. So I drew girl Niall with the bird as well. I tried to like imagine what I think I would have made Niall look like had the character originally been female, if that makes sense. So I thought I would give her little braids, but kind of like messy braids. And I kept the same ruffly sleeves that Niall usually has, and then I decided Niall would probably wear a dress. I think Niall already loves really cutesy and beautiful things. Niall has an appreciation for beauty and aesthetics, I suppose. So I wanted to keep that a little bit. I honestly wasn't even sure what I was doing with this drawing. I didn't go into it with a plan fully, so I definitely could have done better with the outfit design, but alas. Yeah, I don't even know. I just started throwing stuff together. It's kind of a different looking style to how I intended, but I ended up slapping like a texture on top. I kind of like the way that looks. It's not something I do with my art very often, but maybe I should do it more often. We made it to day 13 as a child, so I drew Comet, my D&D character. So I did a little spread since I was getting a little bit bored of just drawing single characters, you know? Or like scenes. A few times in the campaign so far where we've mentioned childhood memories and stuff. So I've got Comet receiving a rock for his birthday, as he does every birthday, of course, and he's so hyped about it. And then I drew him eating fish bones. He was raised by a goblin who eats fish bones, so he wanted to give it a shot. And, you know, to each their own. Comet wasn't a fan. And then the last one is Comet in a barrel. Comet became a pirate by stowing away in a barrel on a ship. And so that's what I drew. Just a little lad. I didn't put a whole lot of thought into the outfit as I could have, which it's fine. I also didn't really put a lot of thought into the hair. I don't know if Comet would have that silly little ponytail that he's currently got as a kid, but I don't know. Just something about drawing like the plain normal haircut felt weird. So I had to include the little weird mullet ponytail that makes no sense on the back of his silly little head, you know? But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to sort of try to imagine Kid Comet. And it was a nice change of pace to do a little spread for a drawing. Day 14! Pajamas, and I picked Joe and Noel from my Supernatural story. Joe is the main character. Noel's also basically main character. I started writing it as a book, and it's in Joe's perspective, so I would consider her the main character since you see the whole story through her lens. But Noel's an important character, and they're besties. They're not at the beginning of the story, but they become besties. And I like to imagine they have cute little sleepovers. And I imagine that Noel is not a morning person at all. And Joe is a little bit like judging him for it in the drawing. I don't know. I thought it was cute to draw him waking up and her being like, "Wake up, bro. We got stuff to do." It's fun to draw like the messy hair. When I had short hair like that, my hair did that too in the mornings. I'm also not a morning person, so yeah, maybe that aspect of him is based on me. And I wanted to give them pajamas that suited their personality, so she has like a cute little match. Honestly, when I imagine her PJs, I imagine like long pants, but currently in the story, it's summer that I'm writing, and I don't know how long it's gonna be summer for, but it just felt right because in my mind currently they're in summer, you know. And then Noel's got little dog PJs that I took a pattern off of Clip Studio for because I didn't want to draw individually. And then I imagine he just grabs a random shirt. But yeah, I love them a lot. They're some of my favorite OCs. Day 15, the sad memory, and art block was art blocking again. I think I'm just not built for drawing every day, and I was discovering that. So I didn't feel like drawing like any whole scenes, which kind of the prompt sort of asks of you. But listen, Happy Memory didn't go well. I wasn't gonna make the same mistake. I can draw a face, so I drew a portrait, you know? Even then, I was like, I don't want to be drawing, so I didn't even bother lining it. I just colored the sketch, and then because of that, I ended up like over-rendering it a little bit to try and make up for the fact that I didn't do proper line art. It was a whole thing. But we've got Kai. He's having a little sad time because wow, sorry for patronizing you, Kai. His whole village got destroyed and burned down, and his family perished with the town. And he's sad about it, because who wouldn't be? He's crying. I'm not sure I gave him his normal outfit. I feel like this would happen when he was younger. My bad. I don't know. It just looks weird. Like, this isn't how I draw, you know what I mean? The eyes especially look different to how I normally do. I don't really know why. But that's Kai having a sad time. He's not been happy once this entire challenge. This is my second time drawing him. Still not having a good time. In fact, I don't think I gave him a good time the entire challenge. Sorry, but... Day 16, Magical Girl AU. So we've got Anya from Chosen One's Academy. And once again, this isn't really an AU. She is the chosen one of a superhero world. And basically, her mother is a famous superhero, and she wants to be a famous superhero too. She really looks up to her mother. So she joins the superhero agency that her mom's a part of, and they see her, a small little girl, very cutesy, very demure, and they cast her to be a magical girl instead of like a superhero. In this world, I imagine superheroes are very commercialized, sort of like Hollywood movies type of thing. So she's being typecasted as a magical girl, and she's so unhappy about it. And she's stuck into this group with these girls that she doesn't even get along with, and she has to be a magical girl with them. But she really wants to be a hero and make her mom proud, so she's doing what she can, making the best of it. And I wanted to draw her in her magical girl outfit. So it's not an AU. I just wanted to try and design a magical girl outfit for her. I don't know if this one will stick, but it was fun to doodle. I wanted to give her shorts instead of a skirt, because I think she would, you know, she's gonna try to make it her own if she's forced to be a magical girl. She's not really a girly girl, you know? This is her being extremely uncomfortable as a magical girl. Sorry, Anya, love ya. Day 17, youngest age OC. I was getting tired and uncreative. So my youngest age OC is Mila, who is Kai's little sister. Rest in peace. I did a full body drawing because I hadn't done that yet, and I wanted to. It's been a hot minute, but I was feeling really uncreative. So I just her standing there. She's holding a stick. Why is she holding a stick? I don't know. She likes nature. I imagine her as a very like energetic kid, and I feel like that doesn't come across at all in this drawing, but it's fine. She's got a silly little side ponytail and a shirt that's too big for her, and a stick. That's what she's equipped with. And then the background is like nothingness, and then I drew like a patch of grass at her feet. I don't even know. It like doesn't look good. But I think her face turned out cute at the very least. I don't really draw kids. It's not my strong suit, but there she is. There's Mila. Day 18, favorite ship. So we've got Niall and Alma from the fantasy universe. I don't really do ships very well. I had Bird and Martina earlier, but yeah, ships aren't really a thing I think about. But Niall and Alma are one of my oldest like OC couples, so they can be my favorite. I've done a lot of ship art of them in the past already, so they're my babs. I wanted to draw something cutesy instead of like romantic, because that's not really my vibe, like I said. So I've got her smooshing his face, they're both making eye contact with you. Is someone taking their photo, or is she just like turning his head to look at someone? I don't know what's happening. Also, don't look at the hands. Why would you even do that? Probably because I just told you not to. Sometimes hands are tricky. I feel like, I don't know, something got lost in translation. They looked alright in the sketch, and then I don't even know. I also feel like I missed something with Alma's design. I don't know if I feel like I gave her arm bracers in the past, and her arms look so empty. I don't know. I also forgot her earrings, and I also forgot the mole on her cheek. You ever just forget details of your own OCs? It's like kind of awkward. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So just something silly for the ship one, because I love a silly ship dynamic, you know. Day 19, villain turned hero. Niall was back. I kept drawing him this challenge. I don't even know why. Kai is back, and he's still not having a good time. I could have done something cool and dramatic for this, but honestly, most of my villain OCs are not particularly interesting looking, or more so, they don't look like villains, so turning them into heroes is tricky. Especially the villains in this story are purposefully looking innocent looking, a little bit like deceiving looking. So if I tried to draw them looking like a hero, that's sort of what they want. Like, that's just them. So it wouldn't really work. So I picked Niall, who in Kai's eyes is a villain. And so for the redemption arc of Niall in Kai's mind, they need this get along shirt. I did like a little meme drawing because I thought it'd be funny. So they've got our get along shirt. In Act 2, they have to spend a lot of time together. That's sort of the Niall redemption is Act 2. And there's Kai yelling at Niall, and Niall just accepting it. He's leaning away a little bit. Niall's definitely annoyed with Kai. They don't like each other. I think Kai's more of just like annoying to Niall, whereas Niall's just like evil in Kai's mind. So they need this shirt, all right? They need this. It was fun to do, just this little doodle. I definitely needed the break from bigger drawings, so. day 20, which is haircut. And I was gonna once again pick a character with long hair. Chop it off. I was also thinking of doing Emmy for this, but I didn't. Instead, I did Amber, who's Gavin's sister. Didn't draw Gavin yet for this challenge. Did I draw him at all for this challenge? I can't even remember, which is crazy if I didn't. This is Amber, and she is a cartographer and an adventurer, I suppose. And she normally already has short hair. Her hair is about shoulder length, but I gave her a little pixie. I feel like I could imagine her in like a time skip, maybe, cutting her hair. And the art block was art blocking. This doesn't even look like my usual art style. I over-rendered for fun. And that's what happens when you draw every day. You get bored and you start changing things up and things start looking wonky because you're not used to drawing in the way that you're trying to draw. I honestly hated this when I first drew it, but I'm looking at it now and it's not that bad. I don't know what I was on about. I think I was just tired. But there she is, Amber. Day 21 as an adult, and I did Joe and Noel again. I had to pick younger characters, teen characters, but a lot of the teen characters I have are in their late teens. So they're already starting to look like adults, and I wanted more of a jump. So I picked Joe and Noel, who are 14 in the story, so I drew them college-aged, which was fun. I did Noel in a bit of a preppy outfit. He's a very try-hard at school and stuff, so I thought that style would fit him. And then Joe, I gave her just a quirky little outfit. She's a quirky gal. She gets a quirky outfit. I gave her an alien spaceship because she's really into the supernatural stuff, and a yellow hoodie and some ripped skirt. I don't know. I wanted to give her something cool and interesting and a little bit different. I also normally draw her with the 2 poofs, and I switched it to 1 poof to show passage of time. And then for the background, I wanted to do like a college campus type thing, so I scrolled through the Clip Studio backgrounds and just threw one in randomly. I don't know if they're attending school on the same campus. I also don't know what they'd be majoring in. I think Joe is probably some sort of art related thing. Maybe writing, honestly. Like creative writing. And then Noel, probably something boring and practical. I'm not really sure. Well, he's also an artist, so maybe they're in an art program together. That'd be kind of cute. He draws, so he also does music. I don't know. He does everything. He could be majoring in anything. So I don't know why that's a trait of his I forget about. But that's them. Day 22, hair down. So I had limited characters to pick from, only characters who wear their hair up. And I picked Raven, who normally has this very long ponytail. And I wanted to draw her like getting ready for bed. She's a knight in this war from the fantasy story. Her fiance is the girl without a name that I drew for Neglected OC. So I drew, you could maybe see in that other drawing, she had like a ring as a necklace. She can't really wear it because she's doing medical stuff. But Raven's got her engagement ring on her hand. In this drawing, I'm drawing her getting ready for bed. She's brushing her hair. She's got her hair down. And I drew in her little nightgown. It's like her in a more vulnerable state than she normally is. You know, literally letting her hair down. But only at night. It was fun to try and draw stuff that I don't normally draw. Like, I would never think to draw someone brushing their hair. But yeah, it was kind of fun. The second drawing, because I was getting bored of just drawing people standing there, so I thought a mini spread would be good. She's got like no expression on her face. I don't know what's happening. I was trying to like imagine like a scene that this would be happening in, and I don't really think Raven's a very expressive person. Maybe that sounds like an excuse. Maybe it is an excuse. Sometimes it's just easy to draw a blank expression, but honestly, it's relatable. If she just woke up, I can't emote in the mornings either, you know? Or she's just really eepies. I don't know. Day 23, injured, and so I had to pick Bird for that one. Once again, I'm so sorry, Bird. I said that in the shorts, and I'll say it again. Basically, in this time travel method that his organization uses, it's really dangerous and can cause injury, not just new injuries, but it can open up old ones. He did a bad jump today, I suppose, and so I've got him hiding out in this alleyway with the reopened wound from his eye injury, as well as that scar across his face, reopened wounds, and then maybe a fresh one on his arm there, and some blood on his abdomen for fun. I realized like all the injuries I was drawing in this were all on his left side, his left or right, and I didn't like that, so I threw in a wound on the other side. Sorry, buddy. And yeah, I don't know. I just sort of relied on Clip Studio for the background as I had been doing. You know when you like get a new thing and then you can't stop using it? That's what was happening. I just got Clip Studio, and so I was like having fun utilizing it, you know? I'll probably tone it down eventually, but it's so convenient, you know? Just slap some trees. I didn't have to actually draw those. In the past, I would have had to draw in trees. Crazy. I was sort of also imagining, because Clip Studio is like designed for comics in mind, so I was sort of imagining this as like a webtoon screenshot type of thing. It was fun to do. I've thought about doing webtoons so many times. I do not think I would do that for this series. I imagined the time travel story to be like in the context of a video game. I'd sort of like to try and make like an RPG maker type of game with this, but a webtoon would be fun to do someday. I'm just like, I've tried a couple times to start one and I never stick with it. Day 24, Fantasy AU. Once again, I've been drawing every single day. I fell really behind. I was a couple days ahead for a bit. I fell behind at some point. Yeah, so I was drawing every day. Didn't feel like drawing every day. I picked Emmy for Fantasy AU, and I was just not in the mood to draw, so I kept like cropping in the image more and more because I did not feel like trying to figure out what I was trying to do with this. I had imagined there's a scene where Romeo takes Emmy to his world for like maybe a festival or something, and so she would get to wear a little fantasy outfit. Maybe he'd bring the whole squad. I'm not really sure. I imagine he's got a bit of a thing for Emmy. She's got her a little fantasy dress on. She kind of looks like Princess Anna on accident. That's fine. It also doesn't really look very medieval. It kind of looks Victorian, which was an accident. So it barely looks fantasy. It just kind of just looked like a Victorian woman, to be honest. I wasn't having fun working on this one, and I feel like you could tell. And then because I was hating it so much, like the process of doing this, I started over rendering it and adding lighting and all that to try and like, one, make it look better, and two, just that I have fun doing that. I wanted to have an aspect of the drawing that I was having fun doing, so it was the lighting. I had fun doing that. And not that I think this drawing is horrible or bad. It's just not like, I just didn't want to be doing it, you know? But the daily art challenge persists. You gotta keep going. Day 25, oldest age OC. So I've got this old man who's gone through a couple iterations of existence. He's from the fantasy story. He was originally called the Seer, and he was like a prophet of the demon world, but not really. He's an elf, which is like a plot line in the story. I sort of imagine that demons in this universe are a species derived from elves, but like evolved in a way to protect themselves, so they've got horns. They've been literally, like, elves have been literally demonized by humans and evolved as such. That was sort of the idea, and he's like the last remaining elf, as they have originally been. But I changed him from a seer to just an old man. Maybe the elder is what I was thinking I would call him, just because I really dislike the idea of prophecies and in the future being able to be foreseen in this particular story. So I cut that. And this is the elder, and he's here. He's an old man, thousands of years old. Like I said before, I wasn't really feeling drawing So I tried to do something a little bit different with this. I colored differently than I normally do. I don't really draw old men, so that whole process was just kind of different. I even drew this in profile, which is different from everything so far, just to switch things up. I actually did have fun with the drawing part. The coloring, not as much. But, there he is. Day 26 with the pet, and I crashed. You know, sometimes surviving a daily art challenge means giving up for at least one of those days. And this was my give up drawing. Now, when I originally made the prompt with the pet, I imagined I was gonna draw Niall with his bird. And I was like, I already did that with the female Niall. And I always draw Niall with the bird. But in Act 2, Niall gets separated from this bird, and the bird hangs out with Gavin. I cannot believe this is the one and only time I drew Gavin this entire challenge. That's crazy. Gavin is one of my favorites. But this bird, doesn't... I mean, it doesn't... It likes him, it flies around him all the time, and it pecks him. It doesn't, like him, but it likes him, you know? So I wanted to draw, like, Niall being all loving with his pet bird, and then the bird just kind of tormenting Gavin. I don't know why I put expectation versus reality. Whose expectation and reality is this? I guess Gavin's? Gavin's like, gee, when I adopted this bird, I thought it would love me. But it doesn't. I don't know. Is that what's happening? It's just doodles. And that was the best way I could think to lay it out. For some reason. I also accidentally gave Gavin a haircut. His bangs are not usually that short. They're usually to his chin. Don't know what happened. I kind of don't hate it though, if I'm honest. Like maybe. Should I keep those bangs for him? I don't know. Not that you get to see what he looks like with different bangs, because I didn't draw him for the rest of the challenge. Sorry, buddy. Day 27. As a TCG or gacha card, I did a gacha card. I mentioned earlier that I love idol anime, and a lot of them originate as gacha games, like Idol 7, Shining Live Utopia. A3 isn't an idol show, but it is a gacha game. And so I wanted to do a card layout similar to how the cards in those series are. It was really fun to do the graphic design. I picked Tal for this from Chosen Ones. Tal is the chosen one of a like space alien story type thing. They're not an alien, but what is the word for that? What is that genre called? I'm blanking. I wanted to give them a bit of like a spacey type look with the outfit. I honestly winged the outfit. I don't know what their normal outfit is. I only ever draw them in the school uniform. So I did just sort of try something with the outfit. I also, in a lot of these games, in their fancy UR cards, have very well-rendered, well-drawn clothes and things and accessories. And I'm not all that great at rendering stuff like that. So I had Clip Studio at my disposal. What was I gonna do? Not use it? So for the stuff like the glasses and the chains and details like that, I did just use Clip Studio to try and mimic the sort of art styles that I see. I even tried to do more like anime eyes and like more rendered hair than I normally do to try and mimic the art style. And then I just did like a spacey background because like I said, they're from a space world. Day 28, favorite OC design. Now remember for day 2, when I said I drew something for Comet and then I hated it and I drew what I ended up actually drawing for day 2? Well, this was the one I hated. I kept it just in case. I was like, you know, already going through art block, doing a daily art challenge, I'm bound to struggle more as we go on, and I'm glad I kept this. I still hate it, if I'm honest. I can't look at it. It's upsetting. I don't even know why. I could not tell you why I hate it so much. Because I feel like most people would look at it and be like, yeah, alright, that's a drawing. But I just hate it. I don't even know. But yeah, right now Comet is my favorite like OC design, and then this drawing doesn't even feature the design. That's fine. Like I said, I've got a whole video dedicated to designing Comet, so you can see that. I guess for this drawing, because I was originally for the day 2, I have, since it's a D&D character, I have this feat called Cartomancer, where I can imbue a spell onto a card. So I drew him holding playing cards. It's the perspective, it's the angle, the pose, the me forgetting half the details of the actual design, which is again ironic considering the prompt. I forgot the patches on the shirt and stuff. I don't know. I don't want to look at it anymore. Let's move on. Day 29, using magic or powers. I left this to such the last minute. It was like, I had been drawing these the night before every time, and then I would record and edit the shorts the night before I would post them, and then I'd sleep until 11 p.m. and then post them when I woke up, you know? A normal thing to do, a normal healthy thing to do. And so I drew this at like 11 p.m. 12 a.m. So I did this extremely last minute and then recorded and posted. I think I might have done it the next day instead of the night before. I can't remember. But this is Kai, once again not having the best of times. He's got fire powers, as you would probably predict based on the name and the hair. But he is afraid of fire because of that sad memory about his town getting destroyed via fire. So I imagine when he's doing his like magic training with Alma, he does it with his eyes closed at first. So that's what I want to draw. I wasn't really, once again, in the mood to draw, so I just did like a quick drawing for him, and then I wanted to focus on the rendering aspect. I don't really do like effects very often, so trying to render out a fire. I think the last time I did that was when I did that Avatar is Genshin characters video, and I drew like fire for Zuko. It's not something I do very often. It was a fun challenge. Day 30, the zombie apocalypse AU. I picked Kali for this, who is one of the villain-ish characters of the fantasy story. She normally has this little blue dress and her cutesy little pigtails. So I wanted to keep the color scheme, which I actually really liked this muted version for the zombie apocalypse AU with the muted blue and pink. I liked that color scheme more than I thought I would. And I wanted to draw a spread because I imagined her in the apocalypse would ultimately end up getting turned into a zombie. And I also just really wanted to draw a zombie, you know what I'm saying? I've got her as her human pose, like with her arms crossed, kind of, I don't even know. I imagined if she was in the apocalypse, she wouldn't actually like do any hard work. That's just why I think she'd get turned. I think she would try to manipulate people into taking care of her. That's sort of what she does in the story, the main story anyway. So in this AU, I think she would operate in the same sort of way, but I don't think it would slide as well in the apocalypse. So I feel like I should have given her like a graphic on her t-shirt. I was thinking about it the entire time I was drawing it, and then I couldn't think of anything. I don't know what sort of graphic she would have. I feel like Hello Kitty or something. I don't know, but oh, I should have done that. A Hello Kitty graphic would have been really cute, actually. Like the cutest little zombie you've ever seen, you know? But yeah, that's Kali. We did it! We made it to day 31, Halloween costume. I was originally gonna draw an actual OC for this, but I was tired. And I was like, maybe a fun way to end this would be to draw my persona character as a witch, wishing everyone happy Halloween. So you're definitely watching this not on Halloween, unless you are in like a year from now, in which case happy Halloween, and if not, happy belated Halloween. It sort of doesn't look like my art style, which is weird. It kind of reminds me of how I drew like 2 years ago. I don't even know why or how that happened, but that I finally completed the month-long daily art challenge. I survived. I made it. I'm never doing it again, truly. But I really, really appreciated all the support I got, especially on YouTube and on Instagram. A lot of you were like commenting regularly, and it was so cool to see all the support and the interest people had in my OCs. I was not expecting that. It really, really means a lot. However, burnt me out so bad. I like had art block cured my art block and then gave me art block again. That was my process with this challenge. It was rough. But yeah, thank you for all the support. And if you're interested in more OC content, I would love to make more. Let me know which OCs you'd like to hear more about or which universes you're interested in. There'll definitely be more D&D stuff eventually. Yeah. That's the daily art challenge. And I'll see you in the next video once I recover from this, because oh my god. I'll see you then. Bye bye.